on, guys, and welcome back to the Football Hub. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Football Hub. Guys, today is a bit of a sad day to announce that James Hanson, one of Bradford's legends, born in Bradford, raised in Bradford, played for Bradford, has officially retired from professional football. We are going to be looking at his career here at Bradford City. And as I remember, he was He was with us from 2009 to 2017. But yeah, guys, I do remember if any of you remember 2013, that's the season I loved. But yeah, guys, I've got a video here from JammyBantam, so shout out to them. I'll be leaving a link in the description to that video as well. Anything that I use will be always linked in the description. Any like Bradford City YouTube videos I use in these videos, they will all be linked in the description down below. But yeah, guys, it's a sad day. He's actually one of a hero of mine, James Hanson. But yeah, guys, what I was gonna do today is that we're gonna look at that video and then I'll get back to you then. So let's get into the James Hanson retirement video.
And what a game! Nothing stirs the blood like a local derby.
Oh my God.
When I was playing non-league, scoring.
These bring back gold memories.
So I knew I could.
They bring back gold memories.
Just getting the chance, and thankfully Stuart giving me the chance here, and
he used to work in a co-op.
Final.
I remember that.
Make of this corner opportunity, Bradford. The header is in.
Hanson! Hanson! Oh God. This takes me back. This does take me back. Hanson! Bradford loses things I was there, guys. I do remember, sorry about the time. But I was there, live in the flesh, watching that game at Valley Parade. It was the most amazing game that I experienced back then. That Leeds game was absolutely hysterics and mental. 3-2 commentary. Yeah.
It'll come all the way through. Hanson's waiting for the pullback, and Hanson comes up with the opening goal for Bradford.
All them fans celebrating.
And after the gloom and doom of Wembley against Swansea City.
I remember this was at AC Park. It's where all the Bantams were celebrating. I remember that day. It was absolutely packed.
Hanson. He strikes and scores! What a finish from James Hanson! His 50th goal for the Bantams, and he'll not score a more important one. It's not the goal that will take City to Wembley.
This shows his corner. Can't come. Hanson coming in! I remember that game after I was back in my yard. I remember that game. That was semi-finals of the Capital One Cup, and then we went into the finals at Wembley. Yeah, I remember that.
The greatest night in the history of Bradford City, some will call it.
Thanks for the memories, Big James Hanson. Wow, that brought back a lot of happy memories. I actually, I think I teared up there. Fucking. Oh Jesus! But yeah, guys, that was just a little video that Jammy Bantam's made, saying thank you to James Hanson for all he's done for the Bantams. And now, guys, we are going to be looking at the video from the Bantams YouTube channel. I think about 30 minutes long. James Hanson's interview is 30 minutes long, so this will be a long video. But yeah, guys, like I said, that video as well will be linked in the description as well if you guys want to go watch it. But yeah, guys, let's get into James Hanson's interview with the Bantams. Here we go. Right, let's get into it.
James, thanks for joining us. Happy retirement and congratulations on what's been a brilliant career. You've had a couple of weeks now to sort of soak it all in, you know, the decision that you made earlier in the month to retire. How do you reflect on it now, a couple of weeks on?
I think it was a pretty easy decision for me, to be honest. Last year, I was obviously at Worksop and we won the league comfortably. Really enjoyed it. Played a game, missed a game sort of thing, as my body was allowing me to do. And this year I thought, you know, I could do the same again, and you know, I got an injury to my knee 3 or 4 months ago now, and I think it was just when I wanted my Sundays off, where I'd usually be taking the kids out. You know, I was struggling walking and stuff like that, so it was in the back of my mind that once I got my knee right, that, you know, I'm probably ready to call it a day, because like every footballer tells you, they sort of know when you know, you know, and you know, I wanted to focus my energy on my kids and making sure that my health is obviously the most important thing.
Does it make it easier to deal with? A lot of footballers talk about when you know, you got to listen to your body, all that kind of stuff. When you know it's your time, when you know you got to put your body and your health first and look after your kids, that kind of thing. Are you at peace with the decision? Does it make it easier decision to make?
Yeah, I mean, it was a straightforward decision, to be honest. You know, I've had probably the last 2 years since dropping into part-time, obviously been preparing for retirement, so it just felt the right decision. And you know, I'm probably going to take a couple of weeks break from football and then come back, you know, whether it's coming down to watch Bradford, like watch you guys, and just spend time with my kids. And you know, because football is, you know, a lot of people realise obviously the wealth and stuff that comes with it, and you know, the enjoyment, and it's the best job. It is literally the best job you can have, but there's also a lot of sacrifices that your family make when, you know, you're going down London on a Tuesday night. You know, I lived away for a year as well, away from my kids. So at the time I had 1 kid. So there's, you know, it's about time. Obviously, I come back and spend a lot more time with them, and this allows me to do now with my weekends off.
And take it back to 2009. You'd started playing and you were quite prolific in non-league, playing for Eccleshill and then later Guiseley. You signed here for Bradford City 2009, first professional contract. At that point, would you have ever imagined what you would have gone on to have done and the career you would have gone on to have?
No, absolutely not. Obviously, everyone tells, you know, when you're a Bradford lad, you know, most Bradford kids will tell you it's a dream to play for your hometown club. And I was fortunate enough to do that. Obviously, the seasons we've had as well was magnificent. You know, we're involved in some big history stuff with the club, so that makes it even more better. And yeah, it was just a brilliant time to play for the club.
You made your debut for the club start of that season, 2009-10, 5-0 defeat away at Notts County, I think, if I'm right. What are you thinking at that point? Massive mistake made, or?
No, it was probably opposite, because it was a bit surreal, because obviously you had the stars at Notts County that day. Obviously the manager Sven-Goran Eriksson was there, and you know, I think they had Lee Hughes got a hat-trick, didn't he, that day. So, you know, I was more in awe of the players that I was, you know, coming up against. I didn't expect to even come on the pitch, to be honest. I remember when I first signed, I'd spoke to my dad, and my dad was like giving me targets, or maybe play 10, 15 games and build yourself up into League Two. But you know, I got thrown pretty much in the deep end, really. As you know, as soon as I come on at Notts County, I pretty much played every minute after that, really. So, you know, I was fortunate. Obviously, got Stuart to thank, and Mark Ellis, because you know, Mark was brilliant with me at Guiseley, and he got in touch with Stuart to give me the chance here. So, you know, I'd like to thank both of them for getting me on the path to, you know, to start my career.
I guess in the same breath, like you mentioned, despite the results, who have made your debut for your hometown club? Like I say, I think you were still only 21 at the time, having come through the sort of unorthodox route through non-league. You were working quite famously part-time at a supermarket. Is that a bit of an accomplishment in itself for you? Was that a bit of a moment where you reflected and were like, wow, this is the only way is up for me, kind of thing?
I wouldn't say that, because I was always quite well grounded, and you know, I thought obviously it's a start, but it doesn't mean I've made it by no means. So, you know, obviously it just gave me a bit more hunger to keep going and you know, get better and better. And obviously the first couple of years at Bradford was a bit of a struggle, you know, in terms of the team and the performances in the league. But you know, obviously things changed when Phil come in, and we had some great moments, and he changed me as a player. It made me a lot better player and a lot fitter and stronger.
Phil Parkinson.
How were those
I'm pretty
early
sure.
days you mentioned for the team?
Phil
Results weren't
Parkinson.
great, but for yourself personally, you seemed to take to it quite well. I think you got 14 goals in that second season, first season, won the Player of the Year at the end of the season, got a new deal. You seemed to take to it quite well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being involved in non-league, you can adapt to the physicality pretty easily. You know, I think it helped with me, you know, from start playing at Eccleston United men's first team at 16.
Yeah.
You know, I always knew I could cope physically with the demands of League Two. Obviously, it was a shock to my body a little bit training full time, so it did take me a little bit to get into shape properly with my body, and I was picking up little bits and niggles here and there, which I probably were expected to. You know, considering I've just come from hardly training at all to training full time every day, and then coming up with the physical demands of League Two. But yeah, I mean, in terms of personal accolades, I was really happy with my performances, in especially the first season, and getting the goals that I did. And it was just a shame. I think I got injured the last 2 months, so I did miss the last 15 games or something like that. Hopefully I might have gone on to get 20 goals that season, which obviously would have been a great start.
11-12 season, you mentioned Phil Parkinson comes in partway through, and then bleeding into the 12-13 season, which obviously we went on to do what we did. Could you have envisaged sort of when Phil came in or towards the end of that season that we would have gone on to do what we did? Did it feel like when he came in, things started changing, something started to build?
I think in and around the training, you know, we were always demanding better things for the lads. You know, in terms of the playing squad we had in the 2011 to 2012 season, it obviously wasn't good enough. You know, we was down struggling at the bottom of the league. I think his job were to come in and steady the ship and decide who he wanted to keep and who he wanted to let go, you know, with the mind of having a go in 2013, that season. But you could see the professionalism change, you know, off the pitch. You know, he brought a lot more different mentality to the players, and, you know, we're always asking to improve things off the training pitch. So, you know, I definitely think that, you know, I was optimistic for a good season in 2013, but obviously not the way it planned out.
Yeah.
How significant a season for you was that personally? Obviously for the club it goes down in history, but for you, not just yourself, but for other players who played in that squad as well, it almost cemented your legacy as local heroes in Bradford for the club Bradford City, but also in the footballing world as well. Everybody remembers that team: James Hanson, Naki Wells, Gary Jones, Stephen Darby, the list goes on. How big was that season in that sense?
It's absolutely massive. You know, as Phil kept touching on it in interviews and stuff, he kept saying, you know, we just wanted to put Bradford back on the map. Obviously,
Bradford
they've been in the Premier League. And started dropping down the leagues, and they had a few disappointing seasons in League Two, and you know, he just wanted to be the man that, you know, got a squad together that's able to take us up. And not only that, obviously we had the cup run which helped, and yeah, it was a brilliant season.
We started the season well in the league, and there was a lot of positivity around the club. Obviously in the cup as well, you scored the first goal of that run away at Notts County, great goal. When was it in that season that you felt something special could be on the horizon and we could go on to potentially achieve something really memorable? Obviously the Wigan game comes to mind, where you knock a Premier League team out of the cup. Where did that change for you that season?
Yeah.
I think the Wigan game was obviously a big spell, but just the squad depth we had was brilliant. You know, I remember the first couple of 2 or 3 rounds of the cup where the gaffer, he could select a squad, you know, starting 11. It didn't necessarily weaken the team. I remember we was playing Burton at home here. We were 2-0 down. Obviously, I think there was me, Naki, and Kyle Reid on the bench, and he brought us on, and we come back and won 3-2. But it just showed the strength that we had in depth of that. You know, especially with Nick Allenby as well. He was like a massive part of us because he got us physically fit. You know, we knew that if the longer the cup runs went on, we could still physically cope. We had the big enough squad, a good enough squad, and most importantly, we were fit. We knew we could play every game and, you know, not really struggle with injuries.
You mentioned Kyle Reid there, but Naki Wells as well. It's a question that you've answered countless times, but what was he like to play with? What was your relationship like? You seem to feed off each other so well to the point where it's still remembered and it's still harked back to by supporters. Oh, they like Hanson and Wells, they like this and that. How special was that relationship, and is it a surprise to see him go on and do what he's done, playing the Premier League, playing the Championship?
It was a dream to play with Naki. Obviously, he was so quick, and his anticipation was, the best probably I've ever played with and ever seen. So, throughout the first couple of years I was there, I was always winning my flick-ons, but people, whether they just couldn't gamble or they didn't know where it was going. Where I just remember the first game, I'd flicked 5 or 6 on it for 7-8 minutes, and Naki got in 3 or 4 times. And we just built a relationship from there. Obviously, we worked hard on the training ground. Phil would often pull us both aside and show us clips, and he developed his game so much. But yeah, it was just hard work on the training ground, and playing together, every week. It also helps.
5th round of the League Cup that season, one of the most famous nights in this club's history. Arsenal at home here under the lights at Valley Parade. What do you remember from that night?
That was an amazing game.
Well, a little bit like a pitch now, to be honest. It was frosty night. It was a bit umming and ahhing whether the game might have been on. Obviously, we wanted it on desperately. I remember Arsenal turning up.
I remember that game for definite.
And a few of the lads looking out the little windows in the changing room.
Fuck me, bringing back tears.
Like, Wilson's here, so-and-so's here. Not thinking they're going to play. And I remember the team sheet when Steve Parkin got it. He'd obviously had a look. He's writing it on the board, the team, and he just basically put the full starting 11 in, and then all the best lads. As a bit of a, he was a funny guy. And yeah, from there, it was just a special night. We had the game plan, which we always do against teams that are obviously possession based. We did sit in, and we relied on a bit of luck and a bit of good hard work, and we knew we'd cause them problems from set plays, and that's where we got us goal.
The Villa game as well, in the round after we did what we did against Arsenal, won it on penalties.
Yeah,
a lot of people seem to look at those 2 fixtures, the 2 home ones against Arsenal and Villa, and compare them almost as though they were both special nights, yes, in their own right, but Premier League scalps coming here and us really going for them and creating memorable sort of moments, memorable games against both of those opponents.
It was an amazing
Do you look at it like that? Do you draw comparisons from those 2 games, or are you able to take different memories from both games?
I take different memories, to be honest with you, because the Arsenal game, we had a bit of a different game plan. Obviously, we knew we weren't going to have the ball. They're technically so good. We sort of hit them on the counter, and we just took any chance we could when we got a chance, put it in the box. Where Aston Villa, I generally thought we deserved to win that game at home. I think I had 3 or 4 chances. I hit the bar, I had header cleared offline. It could have easily been 5-6-1. Well, equally, they could have scored a couple as well, but we definitely felt like we deserved to win that game.
Yeah.
And it gives us obviously confidence going into the second leg that we can compete against these teams.
How good did it feel coming off the pitch here against Villa, scoring 3 goals against a Premier League out with some big, Christian Benteke, Abi Onlaho, big names, big players, and knowing you deserved it, feeling like you've come off the pitch, scoring 3 goals, winning 3-1, and knowing that you've been full value for it, and how much of that confidence going into that Villa game was derived from the fact we'd done what we'd done against Arsenal, gone toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in Europe at that stage, and done what we'd done.
It felt absolutely brilliant, because obviously I think that they've got to go back just quite late on at home, and you're thinking, everyone else is thinking 2-1, it's probably not enough to go to Villa Parkway, and then Cal McHugh popped up with a great header, and it just gives us all that belief, when the full-time whistle went, how well we played as well. If we'd have only come away with a 2-1 win, it would have been a bit demoralising, but with that 2-goal cushion, we knew we had half a chance of going to Villa Park and getting some, especially from set plays, because like I said there, we created so many chances in that game.
The second leg, everybody knows the story, not a lot needs to be said, but perhaps the most significant goal of your career, would you say?
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, I'd had an interview with Simon Parker the other week, and he was asking what my favourite goal was. Every kid wants to play at Wembley and score. I was fortunate enough to do that, but Villa Park, not many players play in a League Cup semi-final, and obviously score the goal that helps get the club to Wembley, so that has to top the lot.
Yeah. Again, going there and entering the lion's den, so to speak. They had the flags out, everything, the 40,000 people in attendance.
That game for the second
a lot of players would have gone under at that point, probably, but the confidence that we had coming out of us after the first leg, after the Arsenal game,
amazing game,
and the mentality that had probably been instilled in us by Phil and Steve at that point. Did you feel confident going into that game that you would go on and make Wembley?
I wouldn't say confident. I thought we'd obviously go there and give it his best shot, because Phil was very good at keeping us, keeping the pressure off us in interviews and stuff, and we're always the underdogs. But yeah, it was a special night at Villa Park, even warming up, and it's probably the most intimidating place I'd played up until then. And I think we did start a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. Dukey kept us in the game first half. We could have been 4 or 5-0 down, and when we come in at half time, Phil settled us down, and he said to us, "Listen, you're 3/4 way through the tie and you're still leading it, so just calm yourselves down second half." And and that's what we did. Obviously, we managed to get the goal quite early in the second half, which sort of tamed Villa a little bit. They didn't really sense that they could go through.
I still remember the commentary to this day.
Especially the last 10 minutes, I thought we managed the game really well as well.
I've seen a lot of people speaking about that game, a lot of supporters saying that it almost didn't feel real that evening, doing what we'd done on the pitch, which really shouldn't have been possible. But then after the game going out, the snow started coming down, it almost felt like it shouldn't be happening. Did you feel as players as though there was maybe a little bit of magic in the air that evening that helped us through?
But it happened,
yeah,
because
absolutely. Obviously from the earlier rounds as well, you always need luck against
Hanson,
these sides, as these play in the Premier League for a reason. They are a better team, they're better players than us, but you have to first and foremost work harder than them, which we knew we could. We were a fit bunch, and like I say, we did get luck there, but we earned that luck. So it was unbelievable. And
then Wembley, not the result obviously that we wanted, but I guess to an extent a lot of people say the result that day didn't necessarily matter as much as it might have done on another day. For you to represent your hometown club at Wembley Stadium in a major cup final for a League Two team, how was that?
Oh, incredible. Just from I think we went down Thursday and just stayed in like St George's, proper nice hotel and nice training pitch, and the Sky Sports cameras were following us around. I think we had a police helicopter. We were watching the bus, Sky Sports News on the bus, and you could just see it like on Sky Sports, and it was just a bit surreal. But the game itself, from going out on the pitch at like 2:10.
Well.
I
actually went to every single game
out
that
season. Pretty much a full Wembley. It's not often.
Amazing.
When you warm up,
we
you
did lose,
don't get that many fans. But
the atmosphere
the
was
cheer we got
absolutely
for going out was
phenomenal.
incredible, and it wasn't the day that we wanted in terms of performance. But you have to take your hat off to Swansea. They were a top side then, and I'll never forget the Gary Jones shot. It was the only shot of the game, and the crowd. You'd have thought we'd have scored 10 goals that day.
The cup run was over, the final had been played. We had a bit of an uphill task then to get back into the playoffs. We'd sort of slipped as we got to the later rounds of the cup. What do you remember from those final few weeks of the season where we went on an almost impossible run in order to get back into the playoffs, and then everybody knows what happened next?
I remember, I think the turning point was Exeter away. We got beat 4-1, I think.
Yeah,
4-1,
Exeter away.
And I remember us getting a text in the group like about 9 o'clock as we were travelling back. Message from the gaffer saying, "Oh, everyone in tomorrow." So we're like thinking, what? Give us a break. But obviously, it was nice to come in really, and we had a few home truths. The video clips was out, and it gave us a bit of a rocket, to be honest, what we needed. And we come out after that and went on this incredible unbeaten run, and every player to a man was involved in it. And we always knew that if we got to the playoffs, we fancied beating any of the sides that we played against. And I had a feeling once we'd booked us place in the playoffs that we'd go and win each game comfortably. Obviously, the Burton game here was a tough game. We weren't great that night, but we turned it around in the second leg.
That second leg, you scored your 50th goal for the club. Probably one of your better as well, and not a bad way to score a goal of such significance that helped us through again to get to Wembley for the second time in a season.
Yeah, like I touched on the first leg.
Even though we didn't win
handled us really well. Me and Naki, to be fair,
was the Capital One Cup. Even though we didn't win that, we went to Wembley twice
right
in a
season. So it was always tough to get some good service into me.
And that's a big for Bradford City themselves.
Like I said,
I think the last time they even won,
you will get a chance second leg.
I think the last time they won the FA Cup was back in 1911.
More experienced lads at the time.
And the Bantams, obviously, the club got established in 1903.
Talked about a lot in this league. Go and prove why.
That's not even that long.
You've spoken about one of the best partnerships in the league.
The FA Cup in 1911, that was the only cup
than me scoring and Naki getting two.
And then the final back at Wembley.
Finals for
you mentioned obviously
playoffs.
Representing your hometown club
as like
Wembley
a major thing.
A major cup final. You also mentioned scoring at Wembley. To do that for your hometown
But
club, scoring a goal at Wembley, winning the game.
I cried.
3-0, it was almost the perfect day,
I
wasn't
kind of
it?
liked
How
it.
proud did that make
I
you?
wasn't even
Yeah,
I wasn't
incredibly
even an
proud.
official teenager yet.
It's special
Back in
day.
2011,
Like I
12
said to you,
season.
to
12,
score
13
for your
season, I mean,
hometown
sorry.
club at Wembley, and not only that, the icing on the cake was to get promoted, and to do it in the fashion that we did it. It was unbelievable day. You know, not many teams go to Wembley and blow someone away.
I
in the
was
first half,
about
and,
6, 7
we
years
did
old
that
and I
and
went
then
to
managed
every
the
single
game
game in that
incredibly well
season.
second half. I never
Blaming
felt,
hell.
in second half that Northampton
As
were
a
getting back
7-year-old,
into it. And,
as
it
a
was
7-year-old,
quality.
I missed
Good day.
school as well.
The season after in League One started really well, started the season really well, and ended up finishing
This
around
is about
mid-table.
when we
I
got
think a
promoted
really
to League
respectable
One.
finish for, again, a team that had just been promoted. We lost Naki halfway through that season.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
Naki.
feel at that point as though
Naki.
something was building? Obviously, it had already started in the seasons prior, but we were really gathering a lot of momentum and working our way from being a mid-table League Two team to a top-end League One team in the space of a few years.
I felt, obviously the style of football we played, we mixed it really well. We went direct when we had to do, and we knew we'd cause teams problems in League One. I think probably took teams by surprise the first 2 or 3 months of the season. I think we won the first 5, or did we win 4, drew 2 of the first 6 games, and we were well up there until obviously we'd lost Naki, which was a bit of a turning point in the season. But to still finish 10th, 11th where we did, is an incredible achievement from just coming up from League Two, and it allowed us to kick on again the second season after that.
And then the season after that, like you say, another memorable one, the FA Cup run. You scored the first goal in the Millwall game here to set up the game against Chelsea. 4-0, a great night here again at Valley Parade. Was that maybe the time in that season where you felt that, again, something special could be on the cards? We'd just booked a trip to Stamford Bridge. Yeah,
obviously the draw had been made. So when we drew at Millwall, the draw got made after that game, and we knew what were at stake. So did Millwall. And I remember, I think Beavers got sent off after 5 minutes. He pulled me back, and that was sort of eased the game a little bit. And we were brilliant that night. We went and scored 3 goals down there. They were a championship team, and to beat them 4-0 here was brilliant. And we set us up for obviously a great trip to Stamford Bridge.
And then, of course, on that, beating the Premier League champions 4-2 in their own backyard. They had stars all over the pitch, Jose Mourinho in the dugout, serial winners everywhere, really. You've spoken, I think, before about how that was your favourite game in a Bradford City shirt.
I remember that
Is that
Stamford
still the
Bridge
case?
game.
What do you
Flaming hell,
remember
what an
from that
amazing game.
Favourite game, obviously, I didn't score, didn't assist, but, as a personal achievement to be on the pitch, the same as like Hazard, Drogba, top players that are, proven Premier League players. They'd been unbeaten for so many years in that league. So to go there and produce the performance that we did, and
I remember it was Hazard, Fabregas, there was Salah, and
then again that season, the cup run, the games that we had here at home again, beating Sunderland, and then a great day against Reading as well, albeit a 0-0 draw. But to walk out at Valley Parade and see the stands as packed as they were, everybody in the city again so excited for what was going on the pitch. How proud did that make you to walk out and see what you and your teammates and the rest of the club had sort of achieved, and how everybody had come together to support you in another cup run?
It's brilliant. Obviously, when I first signed for the club, we were still getting very good crowds, don't get me wrong, 11,000, 12,000, but to then fast forward 4 or 5 years and you're walking out in front of 22,000, 25,000, with all, it's absolutely brilliant. And, we were very unlucky not to beat Reading that day. It's still a bit gutting that we didn't manage to get the job done then. It was a magnificent opportunity to ended up getting in the semi-final, but we can still look back and say quarterfinals was a brilliant achievement.
15-16 season, we made the playoffs then in League One, and a couple of personal sort of achievements for yourself. I think you made your 300th appearance for the club that season, and also scored your first career hat-trick against Walsall.
Yeah,
when you look back,
did,
how significant were those moments and how enjoyable at the time, like you said, to score your first career hat-trick here at Valley Parade and make 300 appearances for the club? It's some going, isn't it? Yeah,
incredible. I don't think I was going to play there. It was funny enough, we were playing Peterborough away, and I'd been ill that week, and the gaffer had pulled me and asked how I was at the hotel, and he said, "Oh, you do notice your 300 appearance today if you play." So I was like, well, I'm playing 100% if I'm fit. And I did a fitness test before the game and scored 2, and we won 4-0. So that was icing on the cake for that 300 appearance. And to get my first hat-trick here was a special moment. I think Walsall was second then, or they was flying high and we was fifth, so it was a big attendance here that day, and we always did well against teams that played total football because we always felt we could bully them, and that day we absolutely battered them and beat them 4-0, and but I've come close a few times, so it was nice to get that hat-trick, yeah.
The season after, Phil left, Stuart came back, reunited with him. You left halfway through the season to go to Sheffield United. 91 goals for the club in 335 appearances. You still remain third in the all-time top goal scorers here at Bradford City. We were just speaking before, we're going to get your plaque sorted out here in the Legends Suite. But that's some record, isn't it? It's still, a lot to take from that, and how proud that makes you.
Yeah, incredibly proud. Obviously, I know Andy Cook's doing really well, and he probably will overtake me, but I still say, even if I'm fourth, it'll take some time to get me off at top 10. So my kids and their kids will know about it.
Cook will probably overtake Hanson.
Yeah.
Probably. You never
18
know.
months then
Probably
at Sheffield
Cookie might
United,
take over
going on and
Hanson's
playing
record.
in the Championship for them. How do you reflect on your time there? I guess to have played at the level you did there for a club like Sheffield United must have been great as well.
Sheffield United.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't really want to leave Bradford, to be honest with you. But I had to sort of look after myself as well. I only had 6 months left on my deal. The chairman at the time sort of promised everyone new deals, and it didn't really happen. He sort of said he was going to wait till the end of the season, which is fine. But I knew I had interest, from other clubs, and when they come in and offer you a 2.5-year contracts, you probably have to take it. It's a short career, football, and I'm glad that I made the move to Sheffield United. It just didn't quite work out with injuries and stuff like that, but I had some great moments there, great bunch of lads, and there's still players there that are playing now in the Premier League, so it's really good.
You moved on to Wimbledon, played for Grimsby, came back here on a couple of occasions and played as a visiting player. How strange was that? How, I guess, exciting to come back to Valley Parade as a visiting player and experience it from a different perspective? How was that for you?
Oh, yeah,
brilliant. I went on loan to Bury my first time back here, and the standing ovation I got was absolutely brilliant. I'll never forget that day. I think we were 2-0 down, and I we come back and drew 2-2. But yeah, the atmosphere is incredible to play in, and I've always said when you're playing for the club, sometimes the fans just suck that ball into the net, especially in the Cop. So it's an hard place to come, if you're not used to it, and a few of the players that I played with obviously struggled to adapt to such a good atmosphere here.
You went back into non-league, finished your career there, played for a couple of teams in the sort of north of England in non-league. Did that feel like a bit of a full circle moment, having started at Eccleshill and Guiseley before you signed your first professional deal, coming almost back around and ending your career back where you started? Was that always the plan, or is it just how it happened?
It was always the plan for me. I'd left Grimsby, and I had a couple of offers to stay in the league, but it meant travelling. We just had a baby on the way, so ideally I wanted to be back home. So I did say to the missus, listen, I don't want to take the chance of travelling up and down the motorway to stay in League Two. I've got nothing to prove. I want to be back home and back happy. So I made the decision to drop into the Conference North. Obviously Farsley was on my doorstep, which was ideal for me at the time, to be home all the time to help with the baby. So I don't regret my decision at all. Like I said, I probably could have stayed in the league if I wanted to, but for me personally, I just wanted to be back happy and back home.
Looking back on all of that, your career as a
I
whole,
understand he wanted to be close to his family, had a kid on the way and everything.
Over 100 professional goals.
You can't argue with that.
How proud does that make you? Now you're retired, does it give you maybe an opportunity to stop and look back and think about what you achieved, what you managed to see, what you managed to do?
He's still playing football, obviously, so you can't
I guess the
really
impact
argue for what
that you
his
had
decisions
on
were.
football, on Bradford City in particular at that time, and the legacy that you've sort of left.
A legendary career throughout all his years.
When you're in the moment of football, you don't quite realise what you've achieved or
Props to
what you've
James
done in the
Hanson.
game until you actually come out.
Props to him.
I remember obviously we played Chelsea for Grimsby and we got beat 7-1, and it's one of them where the lads look back, remember the dressing room after, and the lads are like, how did you beat Chelsea 4 or 5 years ago when we got beat 7-1 to a reserve team? So it's stuff like that where once you come out of the moment and realise, that's when you realise what you've done.
With Bradford, but you can't win with us.
I'm incredibly proud to have played over 500 games in the Football League, and to score the amount of goals I did, I'm like I said, I'm proud of what I've done.
Finally, and most importantly, what now for James Hanson? What does retirement look like for you?
spending time with kids, my family, first and foremost. You know, ideally, just a steady Monday to Friday job, weekends off, get my chance to come down here. My eldest is into football, so she takes up my time now on a Saturday morning, which, you know, she deserves my time because, like I said, there's sacrifices where she hasn't seen me when I've been down in London for a year, or, like I said, I've been in games where I've had to stay over and stuff like that. So, yeah, she's into football and she's a Bradford fan, so she's looking forward to coming down and seeing my shirts on the wall and pictures and stuff like that. So, yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing you back down here. We can't wait to welcome you back and show you your plaque on the wall when it arrives. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming down. Again, congratulations on a great career and all the best in retirement.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That brought back more. Shoot, fucking hell. I didn't know that I was actually going to feel this emotional because he's retired now, but he just wants to spend more time with his wife and kids. And you know what? I don't hate it. It's a good idea, to be honest, because, you never know, life's too short nowadays. You could, obviously, I'm not going to try and go into too much detail about this, but obviously, we all know life's too short. And he just wants to spend more time with his kids and his missus. Obviously, you know what? That is better. Because I'd take that higher than anything else. And someone that wants to spend time with their family, rather than play football for the rest of their life. Do you know what? Because they're not people that we could just shout at if they lose or if they mess up. They're human too. They've got emotions. They've got feelings too. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you, James Hanson, for everything you have done for us from 2009 to 2017. Yeah, thank you for getting us back into League One from League Two. Then we got relegated after you left in 2018. I think 2018-19 season or 2017-18 season. I can't remember. But yeah, guys, that's everything for today. Obviously, it is just big journey that James Hanson's been for us, and I've watched him. He's like one of the idols that I've grown up watching, to be honest. I had a couple of idols, like Steven Gerrard from Liverpool, because I'm also a Liverpool fan. If you don't know about that, me, I am a Liverpool fan as well. I will try and be going to Liverpool games next season. I am trying my best. Obviously, a lot of people that I've looked up to it through my younger years, James Hanson, Billy Knotts, Felipe Moraes, there were a couple of them that I've grown up watching. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, James Hanson, for everything that you've done. And yeah, good luck on your future, mate. And guys, that's enough of me rambling on. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more further football content. And don't forget to smash that bell notification so you get reminded of every time I make a new video. But yeah, guys, if you want to follow me on all my socials, links are here and down in the description below. But yeah, guys, the next game, like I said, is going to be Derby County versus Bradford City, Bristol Street Motors trophy game at Pride Park Stadium on Tuesday the 9th of January 2024 at 7 PM. And guys, if you remember from I think it was Crawley, I said I can't come because obviously I won't be able to. But like I said, guys, every time I do not go to a game, I will be live streaming on my TikTok, link in the description. And yeah, guys, just make sure you go follow me on there and keep an eye out for any videos that say I am not going to this game. I will be live streaming it. There'll be a box either in the video or in my bio, if you're in the top right corner. Click it and register if you want me to send you the live. It does not cost you a single penny. It's just so I know who to send the live to and I'm not spamming it to other people that don't want to watch the live or don't support Bradford City in general. I just want to make sure that people that do support Bradford do get access to the live and they can watch it with me. But yeah, guys, that's everything for today, and I shall see you in my next video, which is probably going to be Derby County versus Bradford City match reaction. See you then. Bye.
Midland Road, take me home to the place